According to DoSomething.org, every 51 minutes a person dies from a drunk driving accident in America. Now, why am I telling you this? The reason for doing so is because accidents are the leading cause of death in our age group, 18, 19, well into their 20s. And I just want for you guys to be aware and to be conscious of this matter and to think about if you were under the influence getting behind the wheel. Now, 3 points I'm going to be talking about today are the frequency of this matter, the consequences, and the final question, was it worth it? Now, I had to do quite a bit of research about my topic, and the numbers of the statistics that I was reading were bigger than I thought. For example, also from DoSomething.org, drunk drivers will drive 80 times under the influence before their first arrest. When I was reading the first half of that, I thought at least it's going to be 5 or 6, and at most 20. I was very shocked, very surprised at the fact that it was 80 times. Maybe you know someone that's done it once or twice or however many times, but that's how it starts. Now, what happens when they get caught? So, according to Cause Aware, there could be 6 months of prison, unlimited fines, driving ban for at least a year. It could go up to 3 years depending on your case. That's a lot of consequences, and it's very harsh and it's well deserved. But there's a lot to think about that maybe people don't really recognize. They just think, oh, I'm just gonna drive, it's not that far. Maybe something happens. Then what? Bringing me to my last point, my final question. Was it worth it? I know a lot of people, especially myself, thinks about this question not only in this topic but in everyday life. Was it worth it? Was what I did worth it? I think there is a lot of things now that we can do to prevent this. We have Uber if we can't call a friend or a family member. We have outside sources that can help us in this scenario. Maybe they weren't around 10, 15 years ago, but they're here now and you can utilize them. And another thing is we talked about the consequences it had on you, but what about the consequences it had to people around you, others? When you get behind the wheel under the influence, your decision affects other people around you. Maybe you have a passenger, it affects them as well. You're putting their life on the line, you're putting the other people on the same lane or direction in danger. And that's definitely something to consider, because maybe you are lucky one time, but the next, who knows? So please think about this. Consider the consequences. We already know how frequently this happens. We know the consequences. We gotta ask ourselves, was it worth it? Now, once again, my purpose is to let people know aware of the situation, of the consequences of what might happen, and the facts, the reality of it. Once again, I'm leaving you with this final statistic. 28 people are killed a day because of drunk driving. Be aware and be safe.